You're listening to Miss Style, Strength, and Grace with Deidra Murphy. This is your one-stop shop for style, fashion, health, and fitness. Deidra's passion is to help empower women to reach their fullest potential, both inside and out. Deidra and her guests will be discussing how to develop your style, health, and lifestyle hacks to energize your day and inspire you to keep reaching higher levels of success. Deidra is a professional fashion stylist, health guru, and Mrs. Washington 2017. It's time to get open and honest with Deidra.
Hello there and welcome to today's episode. I'm really excited to talk about this topic because it's something I luckily have gotten to turn into a business and a job for myself, but it's a lot of fun for me because I get to go and help women, clean out their closets, and I get to be around clothes and just get in my zone of genius, so to speak, where I'm, helping create new outfits, and it's just so much fun, and that's why I turned my passion into a business. But let's talk today about how to be successful when doing your own closet edit, as I like to call it, or a cleanse, or just a purge, whatever you want to call it. Let's talk about getting into your closet and doing the nitty-gritty of cleaning it out. So obviously I want to share this today because whether you live near me or you're near or far, I've worked with you virtually, maybe I haven't worked with you at all in person, this is something that will help you be successful at doing your own closet edit and audit, since I might not be able to go there and help you out in person. So, little story, I came from a family of hoarders. I mean, it wasn't to the point where we could have been on that TLC show, the Hoarder Show, or Buried Alive or whatever it is. But, I love my mom, but she sometimes hangs on to things that I find in her house. I'm like, Mom, why do you still have this? Throw it away. Nobody's going to use it. Well, I became guilty of that as a hoarder in my own closet. And it really started to happen when I started to develop and establish some roots. So as a college age girl, I moved every year during the 4 years while off at school, and I kept things to a minimum just because I hated packing every summer, whether I was moving back home for the summer or moving into a new apartment or condo with girls. I hated the process so much that I tried to keep my stuff to a minimal. Well, fast forward a few years, past the age where I had roommates and I was living in more like a communal type house or apartment, to when I was first married and we owned our own home. I finally had the ability to fill all the empty spaces and places with my stuff. Now, keep in mind, our first home that we lived in when Chris and I were married was a 1940s home built with very limited closet space and only one small bathroom that I had to share with my husband. And man hair in the sink is definitely a real thing. So gross. Anyway, I'm sure he hated my blonde hair clogging up the shower drain. And one time I remember he cleaned it out and did the whole snake thing down the drain to clean my hair out of there, and it looked like a giant rat had been pulled out of the drain. But anyway, I know that's disgusting. Our closet space in our master bedroom, only a 3-bedroom house, was so small it only fit my husband's already very limited wardrobe. He's such a minimalist. He's like, okay, I need 3 pairs of jeans, 2 pairs of dress slacks, and 6 work shirts, 1 blazer. He's a very minimalist kind of person, even in just the rest of our house. He doesn't like having our smoothie blender on the counter. He doesn't even like the fact that I have our knife block on the kitchen counter. He just doesn't like clutter. And so we've learned to compromise on a few things. I get to keep the blender on the counter and the knife block, but I keep my coffee maker put away. So, you give and you take. And when we first moved into our house, the master bedroom could only fit his stuff. So, being a newlywed couple and not having any kids, we had 1 dog at the time, which was Rebel. And, I've shared in previous episodes that she passed away shortly thereafter. It was just the 2 of us. And we didn't foresee moving anytime soon. So he turned one of our spare bedrooms into my own personal closet. I was so blessed that he made this whole room really customized for myself or for me. He added in hanging bars along the walls. So they kind of looked like ballet bars. They weren't as stable as like ballet bars. Like I couldn't be over there doing plie and grand plie, but it was sturdy enough that I could hang dresses and things on there. He added a shoe rack to the wall. He found and customized this beautiful vanity for me and added lighting to it so I could do my hair and makeup in there. It was kind of like just this awesome girly room, and I painted it Tiffany blue because Audrey Hepburn is my muse, and it just was like a fun place for me to not only get ready but to store all of my stuff. So suddenly I finally had the space to fill with my things. And we only lived in this house for the first 3 years of marriage. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't foresee us moving anytime soon. We had plans drawn up to eventually build a home, but we didn't have land. And, it was one of those things like, oh, well, I'll worry about that and cleaning it out when we actually find land to build on. Well, fast forward, we ended up finding a house that was on land that we really wanted. And it was in the country, like I've talked about before, and that fast-tracked our entire process of moving. We actually closed on our new home one day after getting back from a vacation in Hawaii with friends, and we had a renter to set up, or we had already set up a renter to move into our house within 2 weeks of closing on the new house. So while I was still working full-time and I was only doing my styling business as a side hustle, I realized, okay, crap, I need to pack and purge at the same time. So this led me down a road where I really had to start evaluating all the things that I had collected and why I had them in my closet. A lot of my items were purely sentimental. The dress that I wore on my first date with Chris, is he going to remember that dress? No, probably not. I was never going to wear it again. It didn't even fit my style anymore. And I just needed to get rid of it. Heck no, I didn't want it in my closet or my mental place. A lot of things too I still had in my closet because I had that mentality of like, oh, I might go back to teaching. I had stopped teaching in the classroom formal setting for a number of years by this point, and I knew I didn't want to go back to the classroom, but I kind of kept hanging on to these like sweater sets and really professional items that just didn't serve my life anymore. But I kept kind of thinking like, oh, what if I did go back to teaching? Even though when I finally sat down and thought about it, I was like, no, I don't foresee myself going back into the classroom. And even if I do, then I'll want new things to wear in that setting. So I had to really just be honest with myself and get rid of crap. And although now I have this beautiful walk-in closet of my dreams, I still force myself to purge. I recommend doing this, and I do this for myself, a minimum of quarterly, but I try to do like a little quick clean out monthly. If I get something new, like a new perfect pair of pumps, then an old pair says sayonara. If it was up to Chris, it would be one thing in, two things out. But I mean, let's not be extreme here. A girl's still got to have her shoes, right? So I have a question. Are you also guilty of being a closet hoarder? Honestly, I get it. I've been there too, my girlfriend. My husband would probably tell you I still have too many clothes, but he does see how much I take to Goodwill and or consign on the regular. So if you are thinking about trying to clean out your wardrobe and closet, and this does include accessories, I wanted to dive into some of my biggest tips to get you the most bang for your buck as well as bang for your time and do it effectively. What's the point of going through this whole closet purge and clean out if you only get rid of a couple things and you have, more frustration and overwhelm than you began with? So obviously, like I've said, I've done this multiple times with clients in their homes. Actually, I had one this last summer that it took us, I think, 6 sessions to go through and really clean it all out because she was an older client of mine and had been collecting things since probably the 60s and early 70s and had everything pretty much since then. And so she had not only her master closet, but every house or every room in her house that had a closet was filled with her things. So it took about 6 sessions to really go through and clean it all out, but we had fun, and it was kind of a cathartic process for her. But like I said, with any client, I've kind of seen it go 2 different ways. So one, you get too sentimental and emotional about things. Maybe it was something your mom gave you and, you would say, oh, but she'll be really sad if I get rid of it. Okay, number 1, she's probably not going to know. And 2, if she does notice, it's okay. Just let her know that now someone else gets to love that item even more than you do now. Or the other way I've seen this go is you get like a woman on a mission and you get rid of everything, leaving with no clothes to wear. Let's find a happy medium where we can effectively clean out the closet you have, but you're still left with clothes that serve your life. So today I wanted to share, I think, my 5 biggest tips for successfully completing a closet edit or cleanse. So let's start with number 1. My number 1 tip for doing a closet edit with success is to do it with someone else. Obviously, I would love to help you if you're in my area or if you're near that I can travel. I would love to come help you do this myself. If not, then pick somebody in your life that can be that person that says, like, no, girl, get rid of it. It cannot be that person that says, oh, but you look so good in that about everything. Mom. Love you, Mom. But it has to be somebody that can be objective and honest and will call you out on your bull crap and say, girl, you're not going to wear it. You've had it for 4 years. I see you 5 days a week and you've never worn it. Let's move on to bigger and better things. Also, by having a friend there and somebody with you, it makes it a fun experience. Put on some music, get some wine, coffee, or tea, and maybe put your jam on to be successful. Make it something you actually look forward to. You put it in your calendar, maybe get some snacks, some wine or drinks, and pick your podcast or your iTunes playlist and have some fun. Tip number 2 happens before you even have your friend come over and start the cleanse. So maybe you've already picked the day, you have it in your calendar, but prior to, you need to get honest with yourself. This is like your pre-closet cleanse, thoughtfulness, and mindfulness. So I actually work through this process with my clients, and we have a whole patented worksheet and system that I take them through, but it helps us define her true shape. We go through a little bit of color analysis, and the biggest piece is going through her authentic style. Like authentic meaning it really resonates with you. It's not about what the magazines are telling you to wear, what bloggers are telling you to wear, but what really resonates and makes you feel happy. If you're a girly girl and you love every time you put on a really feminine dress and that speaks to you, then become true with that and identify with that. Maybe you're more like a 90s grunge person and you just feel most comfortable in like combat boots and a plaid shirt, whatever it is, like figure out what speaks authentically to your style type. So that way, when you go through your pieces, you know what cuts and colors truly accentuate you and what styles are true to your authentic style as well. I know this might be hard to think through on your own. Like I said, I have a patented program and a questionnaire that helps my clients and I discover what really resonates with you. But this little 3-parter might help you think about it beforehand. So A, think about what your current actual figure is. So are you hanging on to things just because you want to lose 30 pounds and prove that you can fit into them again? Or are you buying things that truly fit your current shape and not what you perceive it will be in 3 months or 3+ months? Think about that. Part B, what colors do you feel best in? Not necessarily what's trending, what the magazines say you should wear, or what the Pantone color of the year is, but what colors, when you put them on, truly lighten your attitude and put that pep in your step. And then part C, what do you want your style and clothing to say about yourself? In other words, what is your goal with getting dressed? I mean, obviously it's not to be naked when you leave the house, but Is your goal to feel maybe more professional at work and be taken more seriously? Maybe you're a, mid 20s, late 20s, early 30s something, and you want to be seen as really professional and really taken seriously as an adult in your workplace. Then think about that with your closet goals. Maybe you are already taken too seriously and you kind of need to soften your look a little bit. Or maybe it's, hey, I'm transitioning into new mommyhood and my goal is to still feel put together yet comfortable so I can run from being at the park with my kids to meetings at brunch. Decide what your personal goal is for your wardrobe, and then as you go through piece by piece, you can decide, does this piece support my goals? Now, obviously, you might have more than one goal. So maybe you have a goal for your work life and a goal for your weekend life. So figure that out as well. Okay, moving on to tip number 3. Get a box or a tub, like those giant Rubbermaid tubs that are great for storage. And we're going to call this the goal box or kind of the mystery box. So when you can't decide on something, or you are thinking, hey, it might possibly fit in the future if you're on a weight loss journey, put things in the maybe box or what I call the goal box. Then hide the box. You'll probably forget about it, maybe for like a month or two. And then when you do discover that box again and I forgot that was in here. If you didn't miss or you forgot about the things that are in the box, then get rid of it. This will help you become super laser clear on what you desire and what you truly need. Then you can consign it, you can give it away, you can donate it, maybe give it to a friend, whatever you need to do, but get rid of it. Maybe you just need to burn it, do that. Or if you've maybe hit those weight loss goals and then you put that pair of jeans back on, you're like, hey, they do fit, but now I want to show off my new booty and new jeans. You have that satisfaction of knowing that you were able to fit back in those jeans, but now you can get rid of them. Tip number 4, is while you're doing your closet cleanse, create a shopping list while you're doing it. I even have a closet cheat sheet that helps with this for my virtual styling clients only. So check the show notes for links to my virtual styling package. But as you get rid of things, notice what's a staple that you need to replace, and that can go on your list. So let's say you're going through your items, you find your classic white shirt and it's coffee stained, maybe it's starting to turn yellow, or even worse, maybe it has pit stains. Get rid of it and put a new classic shirt on your list to replace it with a new one. So maybe, or even if it's just like a t-shirt, you're like, hey, I wear a V-neck white t-shirt probably like 4 days a week or whatever it is, but they all have stains or pit stains. Like, get rid of it and put it on the list to replace it. You're obviously wearing it enough. It's a staple item because you've used it enough to have that coffee or the pit stains. And no, don't just say, oh, I'll just cover up the pit stains with a jacket or a blazer over it. Ew, gross. Move on. Find something else to replace it with. And for goodness sake, put it on the list for replacement. And if you haven't yet, check out my wardrobe essentials list. So I'll put that in the show notes as well to a link. I have a free wardrobe essentials checklist, and it goes over all the basics for a really well-equipped closet. And if you haven't yet, you can get that for free from the show notes. And that way too, you can go back and be like, oh yeah, is this something that I do need to replace because it is a staple item? So I hope that helps. Get the free wardrobe essentials checklist. All right, tip number 5. It's kind of a big one, so I want to really dive into this so you can fully understand what I'm talking about. But organizing or merchandise your closet. First, organized by your type of clothing. I honestly don't understand how people don't do this instinctively, but maybe it comes down to all my years of working retail and just kind of makes sense in my brain. But put your items together by type. So all your blazers should go together. All your blouses or your tops should go together. All of your sweaters should go together. So that way you know what you have and you don't have things just like randomly strewn about in your closet. So then you can look at it and step back and say, oh, I have 5 black t-shirts that are all the exact same. Do I really need any more? Probably not. Or maybe you see all of your striped blouses together and you might say, oh, wow, I didn't realize I have 12 striped blouses. Probably don't need any more of those. So that way you can really like assess what you have. So this is something it's kind of easy to do beforehand, before you do your closet cleanse, so you can really see what you have, but then also afterwards. So then you know maybe where there's areas that are lacking in your closet and what you might need to purchase to be successful with having a really well-rounded wardrobe. So like I said, all of your sweaters together, all your blazers, that way you can see what you have. Then within that, by color. And again, maybe it just goes down to all my years of working retail and it's made me a color Nazi, but I love teaching clients how to organize by color. And if you have the size closet that can handle this too, I then recommend by sleeve length within that color. So if I have all my blouses together, I would have them, all the blouses, all by color, and then by shortest sleeve length to longest sleeve length within that. So starting with like tank tops and cap sleeves, 3/4 sleeves, and then long sleeves within that color category. If you have the wardrobe that makes sense to do it with. So go back to your 3rd grade memories in the classroom and remember all the colors of the rainbow. So you've got Roy G. Biv. That was the way I remember my 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Bruce, teaching us how to remember the colors of the rainbow and in what order. So Roy G. Biv. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, which is a shade of blue, and violet or purple. So you might remember it Roy G. Biv or maybe Roy G. Bip, whatever makes sense in your brain. Now, I understand that a lot of things may not be completely clear as to what color it is. So it has to do with what colors like speak to you in an item or maybe how you would wear it. So maybe it's a patterned blouse and it has a subtle blue in the pattern and maybe you would wear it with a blue jacket or blue slacks, then organize it in the blues. Or maybe it's a print and in your perception, a certain color sticks out to you more, go with that. It's not an exact science, but it will help you when you do go back to get dressed later when it comes to making new outfits. And I'll explain that in a minute or two. So I like to do all by the colors, by the color of the rainbow, and then in order from lightest to darkest within that. So if I have light pink, hot pink, the light pink would go first and then the hot pink. And I usually do pinks right after reds because pink is technically just a light red, but that's in color theory. So we won't go down that rabbit hole much more than that. And then neutrals, I like to do at the end of the closet in order from lightest to darkest. So I would do whites, creams, going into tans, then browns, grays or shades of gray from lightest to darkest, and then into your blacks. And then even in the blacks too, you can organize from lightest to darkest. Usually something like velvet or really heavy texture will be like your darkest, blackest black. So this will also help you when you do go shopping. It'll save you money in the future. So you can think back to your now well-organized and merchandised closet and say, I have 5 pink shirts in my closet just by thinking about it and looking at it. And I'm trying another one on right now in the store. Maybe I don't need this extra pink shirt. I mean, really, how many pink shirts does a girl really need? Or you could say, well, I know there's one in there that I haven't worn in like over a year. So if I am going to get the one I'm trying on, I will get rid of the other one that's in there that I don't wear. And 2, this will help as you do get dressed because you will be able to find the things that you're looking for. So if you know you're needing a black basic t-shirt, you go to your section for black, you go to your t-shirts, boom, you pull it out, done. And again, this will help as you create new outfits. So let's say you grab out a cardigan and it's blue. And then you realize, I want to pair this with something that has a tone of blue, maybe in it. Maybe it's a printed blouse. So I would just go to my blouses that are in the blue category, find one that has maybe that shade of blue kind of strewn throughout that I'm looking for, and boom, outfit made. Floral pattern blouse to match my cardigan, done. I do have a general rule too. So as we've kind of gone through this whole closet cleansing experience, if you can't see it, you're not going to wear it. For instance, if I have a sweater and it's folded and it's put into a cupboard, on the top of my closet and it's hard to access, I'm never going to use it. And then I might find it a year later and go, oh, yeah, that would have been nice to wear during winter season and I didn't wear it. So I'm going to get rid of it now. I personally like to have things out where I can see it. So that even counts for my accessories. So I went on Amazon. Amazon Prime is amazing. And I found those jewelry bars that are actually found at a lot of like jewelry stores or boutiques, and they're like the velvety flocked ones. And I got a couple different sizes. I got like short ones for bangles and bracelets, and then I got a mid height one for like shorter necklaces, and then I got a tall one for all my long hanging necklaces. And I organize all my jewelry on there out so I can see it. And then that way too, it helps me when I do go back and clean it and get rid of things. I know what I've been wearing and what I haven't been wearing. Or you can maybe even find like a pegboard. Let's say you have an empty wall that you can put a pegboard on, or one of those like push pin things. Do that and organize your necklaces on there, or have like a little jewelry armoire or something that you can open up and have like all your accessories and your earrings organized by maybe color or gold versus silver, whatever works for you, but make sure that you can easily access it and see it. My next little tip is I use all my shoes are out as well. Now I, again, categorize and organize my shoes based on color and style. So I have all my pumps together. I have all my dressy heels together. I have all my boots together, and then I try to do it by color. Again, it's a little bit easier if they're colored shoes like pink or blue or white, versus like more of my boots are more neutral colors like browns and blacks. So then I just go from lightest to darkest within those color sections as well. And again, I have them out so I can see them, so that way I know what I can use and what hasn't been used in a while, and then I can get rid of things that I'm not using. Now, when it comes to things in a drawer, this is my little tip, is instead of stacking, like let's say my t-shirts or all my workout t-shirts on top of each other, I actually put them like side by side. So then when I look and I peer down into my drawer, I actually see the shirts like sitting upright, stacked next to each other from end to end within my drawer. So that way I can see like if there's a logo on my t-shirt or whatever, and I know exactly what it is. And two, then I can also kind of rotate through them and know, okay, what have I been using and working out in or wearing, or what do I need to just get rid of? Maybe it's that like logo t-shirt that I had from when I was still teaching that I don't even use anymore. Like, okay, time to let that go. I really don't need the shirt that says like Jogathon circa 2012 sitting in my drawer and wasting space. So that helps me. And then like for organizing unmentionables and undies and stuff, I found these things again on Amazon, and you can find like plastic versions. I like the kind of fabric-y ones, and they're little quadrants basically that you can put in your underwear drawer, and you can just like put underwear in each little cubby, so that way it helps organize it and keep them nice, and they don't just like end up as a random pile within your drawer. And then that way too, you don't have to like dig around just to find what you're looking for. So at the end of the day, as you do a closet cleanse or you're getting through this, like just keep in mind, it's okay. Nobody's going to die if you get rid of something, and your life won't fall apart if you do get rid of something and then you regret it later. If you get rid of a sweater and you need a new one, guess what? You can find a new one. There's plenty of stores to go out there and find what you're looking for. It's just going to be okay. Remember to embrace the experience and have a positive mindset, and you will end up being successful after your closet edit. Like I said, I like to do mine at least quarterly. That's what I recommend, but never less than at least twice a year. So as always, thank you so much for listening, and I hope that your closet cleanse and edit is successful.
Hey ladies, thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoyed today's episode. To help empower more women, please be a doll and rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. For show notes and other free resources we mentioned today, go to StyleByDeidra.com.